Picture this. Some guy on a Harley forum drops 300 bucks on the battery with the bar and shield logo, feeling pretty good about buying genuine. 9 months later, he's stranded in a gas station parking lot, and the shop tech tells him the cells inside came off the exact same line as a battery selling for half the price. That's the oldest trick in the battery game, honestly. Slap a trusted name on a generic cell, mark it up, let the logo do the selling. And the frustrating part, a battery is one of the few parts on your bike where the expensive option and the smart option almost never line up. So today I'm going to show you exactly where the money goes. The global motorcycle battery market is expected to hit nearly $6 billion by 2026. That's a lot of cash riding on a part most people never think about until they're stranded on the side of the road. And honestly, that lack of attention is exactly what some brands are counting on. Here's who I trust on this, and it's not just me talking. RevZilla, Ride Adventures, and the folks over at Battery Stuff, who've been selling and testing these things for 26 years, all keep landing on the same shortlist. When 3 independent testers who've never even talked to each other agree on the winners, that's not opinion anymore. That's a signal. Quick favor before we get into it. If you ride and you're sick of getting talked into overpriced parts, go ahead and hit subscribe. This channel's whole deal is keeping money in your pocket and your bike running right. All right, let's count down the 5 brands I'd walk right past, starting at number 5. Number 5 on the avoid list. DURACELL Ultra Power Sport AGM, running you anywhere from about 110 to 180 bucks. Now, is it a bad battery? Not exactly, but you're basically paying for a name you recognize off an AAA package. Here's the thing they don't exactly advertise. That DURACELL Ultra is a rebadged AGM, and the cells inside come from PENN, the same company that quietly builds a bunch of store brands. So you could get the identical guts for less under a different label. You're not buying better technology here. You're buying the comfort of a familiar name, and that comfort costs you real money. Number 4, the generic eBay and Amazon lithium units. You've seen them, right? 12 volt, 20 amp hour, 650 cranking amps, no name anyone's ever heard of, 40 to 90 bucks. And that price tag is doing a whole lot of lying. Independent buyers guys flat out call these a false economy, and here's why. The cranking amp and amp hour numbers printed on the case are often just inflated. The battery management system inside, the little brain keeping a lithium safe, is inconsistent from unit to unit. Riders report their chargers throwing error codes right out of the box. Then the whole thing just dies early. You saved 50 bucks and bought yourself a headache. And there's a quiet physics lesson hiding in here too. Cheap batteries use thinner lead plates or lower grade cells to hit that price point. Thinner plates mean faster self-discharge, fewer usable charge cycles, and a shorter life overall. That's not bad luck, folks. That's the design working exactly as cheaply as it was built to. Number 3, Pirate Battery, specifically their YTX20 HLBS. Rated 310 cranking amps, 12 volt, 19 amp hour, priced around 60 to 80 bucks. Looks like a deal, reviews like a warning. The single most repeated complaint across verified reviews is brutally simple. Died within a year, despite barely any use. Not abused, not left out in the cold, just parked and babied, and still dead before its first anniversary. For a big V-twin, 310 cranking amps is already cutting it close. Mix borderline power with a short life, and you've got a battery that lets you down twice. Number 2, Chrome Battery, the YTX30L BS. 12 volt, 30 amp hour, about $70 to $90. This one sits right in what I call the danger zone. Cheap enough to tempt you, expensive enough that you feel like you actually bought something real. Experts keep warning about exactly this price range, and buyers keep backing it up. Weak starting power on cold mornings, units dying within a year, even with light riding. When you're spending 80 bucks to replace a battery every 12 months, you've quietly spent more than a good one would have cost you, plus all the aggravation for free. That's the false economy trap snapping shut. And number 1 on the never buy list, the Harley-Davidson OEM lithium battery, right around $300. I know that one stings a little because you want to trust the brand on your own tank, but this is the logo tax at its absolute purest. Spend any time on the Harley forums, and you'll find owners calling this thing too big a gamble for the money. $300, mixed to poor reviews, and units from other makers offering 500 to 600 cranking amps of lithium for less. You're largely paying for the bar and shield stamped on the case. And on a battery, that badge doesn't crank your engine one bit harder. Before we flip over to the good stuff, let me hand you the single most useful tip in this whole video. Batteries Plus, the pro shops that see thousands of batteries a year, will test yours for free. So before you spend a dime, go find out whether it's really the battery dying or your charging system slowly killing it. Stop guessing. And let me kill the #1 myth right now, because it's costing people money. Folks swear up and down that a motorcycle charging system can't handle lithium. That's false. Every reputable modern lithium battery has a built-in management system that regulates voltage and prevents overcharge. The myth just keeps riders stuck on heavier, weaker options for no good reason. One honest catch on lithium, though, so you go in with your eyes open. It's roughly a third the amp-hour capacity of the lead acid it replaces, and it starts losing punch below 40 degrees. It'll start your bike just fine. But if you're running a winch, a big stereo, or riding through freezing cold, factor that in. Right tool, right job. Okay, if any of that's been useful so far, do me a quick favor and smash that like button. It genuinely helps other riders find this before they get burned too. Now let's talk about the 5 brands actually worth every penny, starting with a value pick most people completely overlook. Worth it. Number 5, East Penn, sold under the Deca name. This is the insider value pick, and here's the beautiful irony. Deca makes the cells behind a bunch of store labels, including some of the pricey rebadges we already roasted a minute ago. But under its own name, it costs less, about $90 to $130. Longtime riders report getting a genuine 9 to 10 years out of one of these. Some even claim 12. You can spot the real deal by the improved terminals and the Made in USA stamp right on the label. Think about that math for a second. A $90 battery that outlasts several sets of tires? That's not really a purchase. That's an investment quietly saving you money for a decade. Worth it. Number 4, NOCO with their lithium NLP30. Group 30 size, 700 cranking amps, 12 volt, 8 amp hour, runs about $200 to $300. If NOCO sounds familiar, it's probably because you already own one of their chargers. That trust actually matters here. NOCO built its whole reputation on chargers, so their battery management system is legit, not some afterthought bolted on. It fits Harley, Sea-Doo, Polaris, delivers big cranking amps in a featherweight package, and there's real support behind it if something goes sideways. Strong power to weight from a brand you already lean on? That combo's rare. Worth it. Number 3, SHORAI and their LFX lithium line, roughly $150 to $300. SHORAI was the first major lithium starter brand out the gate, and because they've been at it the longest, they've been tested the hardest. These things are absurdly light, some units around a single pound. And here's a detail I love. SHORAI is the only lithium with a dedicated balancing charger and a built-in charge port, so keeping the cells healthy is genuinely easy. They're rated for serious custom builds too, all the way up to 1800 cc or 110 cubic inch motor. If you built your bike yourself, this is a serious contender. Worth it. Number 2, anti-gravity batteries. The HD lithium in the YTX20 size, around $250 to $350. It's built to the standard case, so it drops right into a Harley box, no foam shims, no fiddling around. But that's not even why it made this list. It's on this list because of restart. Leave your lights on and drain it, and the battery electrically cuts itself off around 12.5 volts, saving just enough juice to start you. Then you push a button and it self-jumps. It's basically like carrying a jump starter built right inside your battery. For accessory-heavy custom bikes, that's a genuine game changer. And worth it. Number 1, YUASA. The GYZ and YTX series AGM, roughly $100 to $160. This is the genuine OEM standard, and here's the kicker. YUASA claims over 90% of bike manufacturers fit their batteries as standard equipment. Your stock battery is probably already a YUASA. Reviewers flat out call it the brand to beat. It consistently outlasts the cheaper brands, and Harley owners report 3 years and more of strong charge out of the GYZ line without babying it at all. It's not flashy, it's not the lightest thing out there, but it just works year after year. When in doubt, this is the safe answer that never leaves you stranded. Now let me arm you with a few insider checks so you don't get burned no matter which brand you pick. First up, the date code scam. Some units sit on a shelf for 18 months before they even sell, so a so-called new battery can already be half-cooked. Always check the manufacturer date stamp before you pay. Second, for Harleys, cranking amps is king. A former HD tech recommends 300 cranking amps as your minimum, and 350 to 500 if it's a touring bike running a stereo, GPS, and heated grips. Underspec that on a big V-twin, and you'll end up blaming the bike for slow cranks, when really the culprit's the battery you cheaped out on. Third, and this one kills batteries fast, never ever use a standard lead-acid desulfation charger on a lithium battery. The wrong charger is one of the top causes of early lithium failure. And yeah, those error codes people complain about. Match your charger to the chemistry. A battery tender, Optimate, or C-Tech on the right setting will keep a battery alive for years. And speaking of storage, don't let your bike sit for weeks or months without a maintainer hooked up. Voltage drops, and if it drops too far, no charger on earth is bringing it back. Remember the magic number? 12.6 volts at rest. Below that, your battery's on its way out, whether you feel it yet or not. One more fitment tip that trips people up. Match your OEM group size and terminal side before you order. A battery that won't sit under the seat or has the terminals on the wrong side is a return waiting to happen, no matter how good the brand is. Measure twice, buy once. So here's the honest weight-saving payoff, since I know some of you are curious. Switching a heavy touring Harley from AGM to an 8 amp hour lithium can shave about 17.5 pounds off the bike. That's basically like pulling a bowling ball off your frame. Lithium can run 50 to 70% lighter than AGM and last up to 7 years. So let's land this plane. Want dead simple and bulletproof? Buy YUASA and never think about it again. Want the decade-long value play? Go East Penn Deca and check for made in USA. Want light with a safety net? Anti-gravity with restart. Doing a custom big bore build? SHORAI. Trust the charger brand? NOCO. And whatever you do, skip the logo tax on the Harley OEM lithium, walk right past the no-name eBay and Amazon lithium, and don't get lured in by Chrome, Pirate, or the DURACELL rebadge. A battery's one part where the expensive choice and the smart choice are almost never the same thing. Now you know which is which.